today we're gonna practice what is real TOEFL with that topic that we did yesterday. Because yesterday you were doing something very basic. Today we're gonna practice with a real topic. Okay, so give me a second. I'm gonna share with you the material that I sent you yesterday. So what I would like you to do now is to choose one of these topics that asks you to do a comparison contrast, or you can also choose the one that says, let me see. Can be either comparison contrast or advantages or disadvantages. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
I give you some minutes. Choose one that asks you again to make a comparison contrast or advantages and disadvantages of any topic. I will turn myself off in the mic so you can read and let me know which one.
Hmm. Hmm. I think the one that says not everything that is learned is in contained in books. Compare and contrast knowledge gained from experience with knowledge gained from books. Hmm.
I don't see it. Can you repeat what the topic is, please?
Not everything that is learned is contained in books.
Uh-huh.
The fourth one.
Compare and contrast knowledge gained from experience. Yeah, I think that is, yep. As you see, this is a real TOEFL topic. So I will send you to the chat box. Please, now I would like you to open your Word document
Mm-hmm.
and please share it with me and paste this topic there so you have it in mind.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so you paste the topic, please. Probably you can make it a little bigger so it's easier for me to read.
Hmm. How do I open the chat?
Excuse me,
How do I open the chat?
the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down below on the bottom part. It says probably security participants and chat.
Wait,
Do you see it?
let me open this. Um,
I'm writing again there.
okay.
Mhm. Okay, so as I told you yesterday, follow the process at least until you gain some experience. Then you can do it automatically after some many years like teaching, doing this kinds of essays. I can do it by myself, but honestly, even starting being a teacher and with the office also, I used to follow this process just to make sure you're writing well. Please, could you make a little bit bigger your screen so I can see it clearly? Okay. And before you start, just a second, let's check the time. Okay. Give me a second. Please do not start yet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure how many minutes you have for this part. Checking the manual. Just a second. Okay, you have
Mm,
30 minutes in total to complete everything, including the
okay.
brainstorming. So I'm gonna set my alarm. Are you ready? We should start now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay, just a
Mm-hmm.
second. I'm setting my alarm. And please follow the process, brainstorm. But remember, brainstorming, the most is a minute, no more than that. Okay, I'm setting this alarm. I'm gonna be watching you start working, please. 30 minutes.
Right. Mm. Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, the way they are similar is pretty good. It's good.
Okay. Mm. Mm, mm, Mm,
Give me a second, please. I will go to the bathroom.
okay. Mm, mm, Mm.
You have 5 minutes. Mhm. Mm. You have 2 minutes. Are you finished? Are you finished, Luis?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Some seconds before it finishes. That's good. Okay. Please, can you read your essay from the beginning?
Mm, wait. uh, Okay. um, mm, I direct from the start, from the title here. Mm, what I write from, like only my essay. Teacher?
I cannot hear you. Can you repeat, please?
Uh, do I read from here, from the start? Do I read only my essay?
Only the paragraph. Uh-huh.
Okay. Mm. What type of knowledge do you think would benefit us the most? Knowledge that comes from anecdotes from our older generations, or knowledge that has been proven through scientific methodology. Knowledge based on experience is usually passed down from generation to generation and is constructed upon anecdotes and trial and error. Scientific knowledge that was passed mainly through books. Wait, wait, what? Mm, first, let me describe. Um, okay. Scientific knowledge is through books, was passed. This essay will compare and contrast knowledge based on experience knowledge from books. First, I will describe how the two things are similar. Um, okay. Main similarity between them is that both of these forms of knowledge are mainly obtained through external sources, such as other people, books, or the internet. Another similarity is that both of forms of this knowledge can be applied to real life situations as both. They're both based on real life experiences or as science. Now I will describe how the two things are different. Hmm. Even though both forms of knowledge serve the same purpose, they come from a different source. Knowledge based on experience is passed down from generation to generation and is constructed upon anecdotes and trial and error. On the other hand, many of what we know today has come from scientific knowledge that's been proven through the use of scientific methods. In the past, this type of information was passed mainly through books, but since the invention of the internet, it can be found anywhere now. The best of both worlds would be to combine both forms of knowledge. Real life experience can help us with the nuances of different scenarios when combined with theoretical knowledge. This is because in reality, things don't happen like as if they were in a vacuum. Conclusion, something that would technically be correct in a controlled environment might not transfer to real life, as there are variables that are out of control, are out of our control. I hope you enjoyed reading this comparison and contrast between knowledge based on experience and knowledge from books.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that is good.
Yeah.
So let's try to make some probable corrections. Please scroll up. till
Mhm.
the very beginning. Okay, there. Knowledge based on experience is usually passed down from generation to generation. There should be something there.
Mm.
Mhm. Okay. After error, it should be a follow that. So don't eliminate that space there, please. That one. Scientific knowledge was passed mainly through books. Mm, let's read again. Knowledge based on an experience is usually passed down from generation to generation, and it is constructed upon anecdotes and trial and error. Scientific knowledge was passed only through books. After books, I think it is a follow dot. This essay will compare and contrast knowledge based on experience and knowledge based from books. Yep, that's good. Next one. First, I will describe how the two things are similar. The main similarity between them is that both of, I think.
Wait, teacher, I'm gonna grab a bottle of water. Just be right
Okay,
back.
okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Mhm. Okay. First, I will describe how the two things are similar. The main similarity between them is that both, I think, both these forms of knowledge,
Um,
I think it should be both of these forms or both of, I would say.
where, um,
On the second line, similarity, the main similarity between them is that both of.
mm,
Uh-huh. These forms of knowledge are mainly obtained through external sources, such as other people, books on the internet. Remember, when you refer to internet, it should be capitalized, since internet is a name. Good. Another similarity is that both forms of knowledge can be applied to real life situations, as they are both based on real experiences of,
I think
of
I should
science.
explain it a bit more here.
Sure.
Mm,
Are you gonna add something else?
I don't, that's what I was thinking, but
Okay, yeah, just let me
yeah,
know. I can give you some time. That's fine. That's
no, it's
better
fine.
if you include something.
Mm, it's fine. You can go on. Continue what
Okay,
you're talking about.
mhm.
Mm,
Eliminate those periods. There are some periods that are there. Uh-huh. And the other one, not that one, the next one. That one. Okay, let's scroll down. Now I will describe, we didn't read that one, no? Okay, here. Now we describe how two things are different, even though both forms of knowledge serve the same purpose if they come from based on experience, which is usually passed down from generation to generation. It is constructed. I think after generation to generation, there should be a comma. before it's.
Hmm. Or like
Generation to
here.
generation, comma, it is. Remember that in academic essays, it's not a good idea to write contractions. Got it is constructed upon anecdotes and trial and error. On the other hand, comma, that's very good. Many of what we know today has come from scientific knowledge that has been proven through the use of scientific methods. In the past, this type of information was passed mainly through books, but since the invention of the internet, again, capital letter, it can be found everywhere now. It is good. Then the best of both worlds would be to combine both forms of knowledge. Real life experience can help us with the nuances of different scenarios when combined with theoretical knowledge. This is because in reality, things do not happen. Try to avoid always contractions. Mhm. Like it's if they were in a vacuum. In conclusion, comma.
Hmm.
That is the period is fine. After in
Ah,
conclusion.
wait.
Mhm,
Uh,
In conclusion, comma. Mhm. Something that would technically be correct in a controlled environment might not transfer to real life as there are variables that
there
are
are. Oh, wait.
as there.
I thought I used the wrong the. I don't know. Hmm.
What would you write there? Do
Oh,
you
I thought I used. I thought it was they are instead
ah
of there.
there?
I used the
Um,
wrong one.
Let me see. In a
I
controlled
don't know.
environment, might not transfer to real life as there are variables. Nothing is fine.
Yeah.
Ah, as there are variables that are out of our control. Are you going to include this one? So it should be a follow of that. So you can erase that space. Good. Okay, that's very good, Luis. So I'm gonna share with you how.
But your mic cut out. I
Excuse me.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. So let's read how your score is processed. Okay. Please stop sharing it. I'm gonna share the PDF.
Okay.
Okay. So these essays are scored from 0 to 5, as you can see. And mm, it is a good idea that you are aware how you are scored. That is one. Also, let me tell you that each section, if each of the four sections has the possibility to get 30 points, 30 credits. However, when you uh, when you get these scores, it's not based on 30, as you notice. Probably you're asking why, because I write and then I should be given a score that is from 0 to 30, right? And why it gives is from 0 to 5.
Mm.
That means if I have, let's see, 6 essays there, I will add all my scores and I get to from 0 to 30. No. The way with this is handled is only the average of all your writings. That can be 2, 3, depending, sometimes 4. And you get the average, which could be, for example, 4.5, 3.75, etc. And then there is another transformation scale in which you can be given your score from 0 to 5. It is transformed into 0 to 30. You may be wondering, but why is that complication? Well, the complication is because about the statistics stuff. Like, for example, if we picked, well, if they picked the scores from 0 to 30, directly, that would create data which might be not reliable because there are different people who write, there are different people who read your essays. So if you could probably someday read a little bit more statistics or the process how ETS gets the scores, the thing is that to make this process more reliable is to double transform. First, we pick this scale from 0 to 5, which is the raw score. From the raw score, all your essays are they take the average of all your essays and then it is transformed with another scale. In that way, validation and reliability, if you're studying investigation, you will know what I'm talking about. Uh, Validity and, and reliability are overcome. So that's basically why you're seeing this. Okay, so please, Luis, can you read what they look for in independent writing for 5 points?
Mm, 5 points. An essay at this level largely accomplishes all of the following. Effectively addresses the topic and the task, is well organized and well developed using clearly appropriate explanations, exemplifications, and or details, explains unity, progression, and coherence, explains displays consistent facility in the use of language, demonstrating syntactic clarity, appropriate word choice, idiomaticity, though it may have minor lexical or grammatical errors.
Good. As you can see, they do not expect a perfect piece of writing. There can be some minor errors. That is a slip of a pen, that probably a misspelling that you did it without being conscious. And remember that this score is also subjective, is personal opinion. As I think I told you yesterday, I was discussing with one of the abacis why I was giving her a very low score. But um, first, that this is an opinion. And second, why I was giving her a low score? Because the errors she made were errors in conjugating in the simple present. It's like, for example, if you say she look or she looks, of course it's she looks, but she
Mhm.
forgot the s like 3 times, and she was saying, no, but why are you giving me so low scores? First is my opinion. Second, I do think that conjugation in simple present is a basic error. If it were an error that is tag questions, embedded questions, or something that is grammatically more at least intermediate, I would
Wait, what
probably.
does embedded questions mean?
Embedded question is, for example, if I say, what's your name?
Uh-huh.
And I want to say, could you tell me what your name is? And the is goes at the end. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That, that
Yes.
one. That is a little bit
Uh,
more advanced. That is intermediate. If that were the case, I probably would not discounted her that point. But if she commits
mhm.
that mistake that says she look and she repeats it, honestly, it's my opinion, but I do not think that is a simple error. I do not think that is a slip of a pen. I would say that's a basic error. Basically that.
Mhm.
Okay, let's keep reading. Luis, please read the number 4.
An essay at this level largely accomplishes all of the following. Addresses the topic and task well, though some points may not be fully elaborated. Is generally well organized and well developed, using appropriate and sufficient explanations, exemplifications, and more details. Displays unity, progression, and coherence, though it may have occasional redundancy, digression, or unclear connections. Displays facility in the use of language, demonstrating syntactic variety and a range of vocabulary, though it will probably have occasionally noticeable minor errors in structure, word form, or use of idiomatic language that do not interfere with the meaning.
Mhm. Here it can be some redundancy. I think I see some a little bit redundancy in yours, but I
Yeah,
do
I
not think.
noticed that too.
You're
Uh,
conscious of, you're aware about that. That's
yes,
very
I'm
good.
very conscious of that.
I'm really glad about you writing. Let's read the number 3, please.
Okay. An essay at this level is marked by one or more of the following. Addresses the topic and task using somewhat developed explanations and exemplifications and or details. Displays unity, progression, and coherence, though connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured. may demonstrate inconsistent facility in sentence formation and word choice. It may result in lack of clarity and occasionally obscure meaning. May display accurate but limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary.
Yeah, in this case is when the student, for example, it usually happens in
Mm,
Spanish speakers, because Spanish speakers are given a question, then they start talking about that question, then they distract, they start talking about anything else, and then they come back to the topic. I might say, I'm not saying that our language in Spanish is bad. Each culture has its language, and its culture is culture. It's not better, it's not less than any other. But you're studying another language from another country, and keep in mind that in English you go straight to the point, straight to the answer. Even if you are studying or you have experience studying German, you will notice that this is a question and you simply answer the question. You don't go around the bushes. And uh, Spanish is like that. So try to always focus on the topic. Do not do like most people, Spanish speakers do, that you have the topic there and then you start talking about your grandmother, which it doesn't make much sense. So go back to the topic, okay? And then the 2-1, please.
Next, at this level may reveal one or more of the following weaknesses: limited development in response to a topic on task, inadequate organization or connection of ideas, inappropriate or insufficient exemplification of explanations or details to support the illustrate generalizations in response to the task, uh, a noticeable inappropriate choice of words or word form, an accumulation of errors in sentence structure and usage.
Yep, thank you. So in this case is organization. As I told you yesterday, probably you will see, no, this practice is very robotic. I do not have to follow this layout because this layout is like a robot. I am a person, I am independent, I have my own thoughts. I do not have to fit in somebody else's thoughts. Uh, well, this is for beginners, and remember, follow the structure. I know it is robotic, but from my experience and for what my students said, uh, after having problems, they said, okay, teacher, I have to recognize that I should follow this process. Once you get into it, it will make sense to you. Can you read the last two ones, please, Luis?
Okay. Number one, an essay at this level is seriously flawed by one or more of the following weaknesses: serious disorganization or underdevelopment, little or no detail or relevant specifics or questionable responsiveness to the task, serious and frequent errors in sentence structure or usage.
And the next
Mhm.
one too, please.
Number zero, an essay at this level merely copies words from the topic, rejects the topic, or is otherwise not connected to the topic. It's written in a foreign language, consists of keystroke characters, or is blank.
Yep, I do
Uh,
not think it's pretty hard to get a zero. So honestly, which score would you give yourself, Luis?
I think between 3 or 4, maybe 4.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say also somewhere in the middle of 4 and 5. I really congratulate you that you got this one. I'm really glad, and also that you're using the format that some students say, nah, why I have to follow this. I would say something between 4 and 5.